Anti-Semitism in the age of a Trump presidency. Yesterday, first son Eric Trump caused a stir with this remark regarding Bob Woodward and his new book, Fear, that many have seen as a blatant example.
But don't you think people look through the fact that you can write some sensational nonsense book? CNN will definitely have you on there because they love to trash the president. It'll mean you sell 3 extra books, you make 3 extra shekels.
For context, the use of the word shekels, which is Israel's standard of currency, immediately raised red flags, as the word is often used in a derogatory fashion. Online reaction was swift and pointed, with critics calling the younger Trump, quote, insane or, quote, outrageous, and that what he said was done intentionally. Woodward, who isn't Jewish, responded with this.
I just hope no one would talk like that, frankly. I think that just doesn't fit, and I'm sorry. Anyone talks like that, whether it's a dog whistle or whatever the intent is. It's not, I mean, part of the point of this book is that we need to have a serious debate about serious issues, and to use invective and this attack rhetoric or what, whatever it might be, it sets us back.
Now, this controversy came out at the same time that the Trump administration adopted what may well be a new definition of anti-Semitism in schools, one which is being received both by cheers and jeers. Pro-Israeli groups herald the move that would change how the Department of Education investigates allegations of discrimination against Jewish students. Critics worry it will stifle free speech and criticism of Israel on campus. Here with the backstory and details of that aspect of the story is Politico's education reporter, Michael Stratford. Michael, welcome to you.
Good to be with you.
So let's set the stage for what the Civil Rights Office of the Department of Education is now doing. And they're referencing a case that arose at Rutgers back in 2011. Give us just a quick sense of what that was all about, if you would.
Sure. So in brief, amid ongoing tensions there between pro-Israel and pro-Palestinian students, a pro-Palestinian group held an event at which it was alleged that some students were charged an admission fee that was different based on a perception that they were Jewish or pro-Israel. That is a fact that's in dispute in the case. Several organizations filed a complaint with the U.S. Department of Education's Office for Civil Rights, alleging that discrimination under federal civil rights law. The complaint was dismissed by the Obama administration in 2014. The administration cited a lack of evidence. Several groups at the time appealed, and that appeal has been pending since 2014. What the Trump administration did last week, or several weeks ago, was to reopen the case. And they did so in sort of a controversial way, because they, in doing so, adopted a new definition of how the office would define anti-Semitism.
But let's first talk about Kenneth Marcus, because some of the people who are critical of this action have been critical of him. Why?
So Kenneth Marcus, for a long time, has advocated for Jewish students on college campuses, and has sought to combat anti-Semitism on college campuses. The concern expressed from some civil rights groups and some advocates of Palestinian rights is that some of his approaches would effectively stifle free speech on campus and stifle opposition to the policies of Israel on college campuses.
So am I correct that essentially that what it seems to be saying now is that the notion of ethnicity is certainly something that the Office of Civil Rights will look hard at, and that they are saying we are going to put the notion of a pro-Israeli, Jewish community into that category. So now they haven't done a finding on this yet, correct? But they said that gives us a basis to look into it, rather than what the Obama administration has said. Is that an accurate depiction of the position?
I think that's right. What the letter that went to Rutgers last month said was the Trump administration is reopening this investigation to examine the evidence that was was already there in light of this new definition of anti-Semitism, which includes, in some cases, delegitimizing Israel as anti-Semitism.
Well, Michael, it's a bit complicated. You helped us to understand it much better than we did before. And I think this is going to obviously continue. And our hope is we can get you back in here and talk a little bit more about this case as it moves down the line. Thanks for spending some time with us.
Thank you for having me.
You'd be welcome.